Hey Alec, how's it going? Welcome back to E3 2019.
Yes, indeed. We're back again to discuss all of the classic conferences, the great, the traditional, only did it last year. Square Enix conference is
hmm
next.
So far we've had a train of mediocrity coming through the E3,
Yes.
trying to tear up everything in its path. Now, where is Square Enix hopping on the train, or is it staying off the train?
Oh, it's hopping on a train.
Yeah,
Oh, it's hopping on a huge train.
where's the
Not
where's the
not this
train
it's a
going?
different train, a far different train from the train that everyone else has
Okay,
been on of mediocrity. Is one of the best conferences in a long time. Just period.
okay, okay.
Um, they
Whoa.
came they came right out the gate. Final Fantasy VII remake, as they should. I
And
was a
they,
little I was a little worried because the evening before there was a Final Fantasy VII symphonic reunion concert. It was is what it was called. They just kind of announced it a month before. So it was kind of like, ooh, this is cool. The problem with this is that they didn't have any new arrangements of any of the music. So they didn't showcase any new arrangements from the remake. They only showcased old Distant Worlds arrangements of all Final Fantasy VII music. And I kid you not, about half of the concert, if not more, was the orchestra and choir sitting in complete silence while they played the game's soundtrack for people who paid 70 plus dollars to
oh no,
sit and see an orchestra play. And I'm not kidding you.
oh no.
That happened. And that is embarrassing. The only consolation is that at the end they showed a very small trailer that gave us the release date of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is 3/3/2020.
That's
So
right.
March 3rd of next year.
And yeah, and guess what game I'm playing right now for the Gents Challenge?
Yeah, you're playing Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, so now if
So
I finish that, I'll be ready to play a new and different Final Fantasy VII.
you will, except you'll only be playing the first episode of it, mind
Okay,
you, because this is still an episodic game, remember.
okay.
So the remake is going to cover the Midgar section of the game, which is approximately the first, depending on how long it takes you to do stuff, is approximately the first generously 10 hours, but I would say more closer to probably 6 to 8 hours. The first 6 to 8 hours of the game.
How does that work? How does that work? They got two Blu-ray discs worth of content in there. How'd
Because they
that?
are because they've said that they've expanded the story here. So we're
Okay.
we're gonna get more. I mean, they've already shown in the trailers stuff that doesn't happen in Final Fantasy VII the game.
Yeah,
So
see, I cannot tell these things. I've
and you
only played a few hours,
and you
so.
don't know. Yeah, you've only played a few hours, but they have shown off some stuff that doesn't really happen exactly the same way. So,
Hmm.
um, but so they showed off gameplay for the first time,
Yeah.
and oh my goodness, it is beautiful and looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
It's like blending the best elements of like Kingdom Hearts slash Final Fantasy 15 mixed with Final Fantasy 7 mixed with Final Fantasy 13. So you're filling up when you run into attacks, you're filling up an ATB, an active time battle gauge, and when that gauge fills up, you can enter tactical mode, which completely freezes everything, and it makes it so that you menu a la Final Fantasy VII. From there, you can then select like magic attacks, different other techniques like using limits and things like that. So they're really going in on making this combat try to please everyone. Because a lot of people are like still upset, and I think even after this trailer, they're still upset that they're going for an action-based gameplay, which we already knew from like
Hmm.
3 years ago. But people just want them to like. I even saw a comment that would be like, "I hope they include an option so that you can just so that there's a turn-based option in this game." And
Hmm.
it's like, but they're not. The thing is, this is a remake. It's a reimagining of this game. It's not going to be the same game. You're going to have Final Fantasy VII to play for the rest of your life. You can go back and play that game whenever you want, and it's great. It's a fantastic game. This is not that game. It is a remake of that game. It's a rethinking, reimagining of it. So it's not going to be the same game. So sorry, ultimately.
Do you prefer this kind of combat system, or do you prefer?
I don't. They're just so different games. I like both. I love both.
Because like I can see, honestly, when I'm playing Final Fantasy VII, I'll talk more about it later. But I'm not a huge fan of the time, like the time based things where it's like if you wait too long, they attack first and stuff. I'm not a huge fan of that. But I mean, I've always really liked turn based RPGs. And,
you can turn that off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you go into the time battle gauge, you can set it to wait, and that'll make it so that in order, the bar will still fill up, but it will pause when it's your turn. It will pause the enemies, because essentially what's happening is the enemy's bar is filling up in the background the whole time.
Yeah.
But when it's set to wait, the enemy's bar stops, so that you're able to like select stuff from a menu. So if you're ever feeling like pressure like that, you can always change it to wait. I've always loved the ATB system. Because it's an attempt to make turn-based games feel a little more realistic.
Right. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, well, you're not just standing there like the whole time. They're going to be attacking you if you're just standing there trying to decide. But
and it is interesting. I mean, like I'm also not a huge fan of the Kingdom Hearts combat either. So, but I do think it looks really good in this remake. But it's also interesting the idea that, like, for the remake, they felt the need to make it a different combat because it's not like turn-based strategy is like a thing of the past. It's like that's clearly an outdated system because there are still games that use it, and that's just a choice. But it's interesting they decided to just completely change the direction for it.
Right. But a lot of those games are like they take on an art style or are they tend to try to attempt to be throwback games, like Octopath Traveler, which is a fantastic game. But that game is intended to be kind of a throwback to that period of time, while still taking modern twists on everything. But it is still kind of a throwback, and it takes that in its style and everything. But like it's clear that they want to make the best looking game they can. And I mean the thing about it is you have to at least admit that when you have, like, especially even something like Lost Odyssey, which is like almost 10 years old now, you look at a game like that and like it is turn-based, so you select what everyone's doing before combat starts, but it's just so painfully obvious, like, that these realistic characters fighting each other are standing in rows, like lined up with each other, and it's just weird. Like, if you really sit down and think about it, it's kind of immersion breaking, like, in a sense. It makes sense if you know gaming language, you get it. But if you were someone that was just going to be watching that game, it would be weird. Like, why are they just standing around?
And I do think that was ultimately a good decision to switch the combat for the remake, because I think it fits what they seem to be going for, more of like a cinematic and full story experience here, and like you're actually in the world as opposed to just like chunks of it and like segmented. I think it works well, especially with the dynamic, like being able to switch between characters mid battle too.
That was the thing I was concerned about, was how they were going to implement that, and it looks great. It looks so fun and exciting. Like, I can't wait to switch between playing as Cloud and then moving to a long range Barret and like shooting stuff. It just looks really fun.
Yeah. And it doesn't look super gimmicky, because sometimes with things like that it can be like, I mean, there's no real use to switching. You should just stick with the same character and just spam the whole time. It looks like it'll actually be beneficial to switch. So we'll see, but I'm optimistic about that. I think it looks cool. Yeah.
It looks fun. A lot of fun. So in addition to that, they had also, like, while they were showing gameplay, they were like, so when are we going to see Tifa? They were like, oh, well, you still have to wait. You'll see her soon, though. You'll see her soon. And I thought it was like, okay, they're gonna put that off. But then they showed a longer version of the trailer they showed at that symphonic concert, in which they showed not just Marlene, who's Barrett's little girl, but they showed Tifa, and it made me very happy.
Yeah, the crowd was hyped too.
Yeah, the crowd was very excited.
And I gotta say, that's one thing I really liked about this conference too, is like not only they have this intimate kind of conference setting, but the balancing between the audio I thought was really good, where you could really hear the crowd's reactions during the trailers.
But it wasn't drowning stuff out, really.
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff I really love, like the kind of stuff that I miss from Nintendo too, where it's like super hype announcements and just like parts of trailers where you can hear the crowd getting excited.
There is something to be said about kind of the visceral crowd experience. Whereas, I mean, like, I was complaining about it in Bethesda, but that's because they were overbearing. They were like that guy in the article said, screaming bloody murder over everything. This one, they didn't really do that. The stuff they were excited about, we all knew. We could tell what they were really excited about, and it was cool.
Yeah, it's clearly just had some passionate fans in there, and he had a nice little intimate venue, which I thought was really cool.
I liked that venue a lot too. It was a theater. It was cool. Like, it wasn't like a huge auditorium. It was just like it was a small theater, and it was really great.
And they just cut in some like shots of some fans with like drinks in the crowd, just like watching. The trailer was put together really nicely too. I like that.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that very much. I pre-ordered that first
deluxe edition.
I did, the first class edition.
Okay.
I pre-ordered that like as soon as I found it go up. I was just like,
how much is that thing?
My money. More than I'm going to say on here.
I can look it up.
You can look it up, but don't. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this game. I don't even care that it's just been. To me, when they said episodic, that's what I thought the first game was going to cover. It's going to cover Midgar, because when you're first playing that game, if you have like no context, if you're first playing that game, it feels like the whole game could take place there, easily.
Mm-hmm. That's what it feels like right now. Yeah.
yeah. So I like that. I like that they're holding to that. So.
I'm really interested to see what they do to expand it then.
Yeah.
To make it fill the whole game. But yeah, so. Anything else on that Final Fantasy VII Remake?
I mean, I'm clearly this is one of the things I'm the most excited for. So,
and that's a great way to start. I mean, you start that way, then you know they're not gonna disappoint with the rest, because you can't just not have anything good after that.
And they didn't. Here's the thing: they started off great, but they stayed great the whole time. Yeah, pretty much.
Because like, if they didn't have much, you would hold on to that till the end, so you have people.
Right.
But they started off bang. We got some great stuff. Just keep the ball rolling. So they have Life is Strange 2. I don't know. I really don't understand why they talked about this, but I mean, I'm not sure what they were advertising here, because the game's already exists.
The first 2 episodes I think exist, or the first episode exists.
I don't know where it's at exactly. I'm not caught up, but I'm like,
I don't remember either.
The full game's not out, right? It's not.
No,
finished.
They're still developing it. I wasn't sure exactly what it was. To me, I don't know. To me, it was almost like we're still making this game, and we understand fans love this game, because it was showing a lot of like Let's Player reactions to it. I guess. And it's like, okay, it was kind. I agree, it was a little weird, but
and I didn't like the streamers thing either. I was like, because you have like this super like artsy, trying to make it like. Emotional journey, and you have these streamers. Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe I did that.
Oh man, that's where the episode's gonna end, right there. Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of silly.
I never like when they tie in streamers and stuff like that. But
yeah, I don't know. I wasn't like. I don't know. I do want to play that game at some point, though.
But yeah, I do really like Life is Strange. So
yeah, I like the first one a lot. I still have I haven't even played Before the Storm yet, so I need to do that still too.
Yeah, I played the first episode of that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So there was that. There was Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered.
And that game looks beautiful.
That looks great. See, that's one I've had on the GameCube, and I never could really get into it growing up. But I mean, I've always loved the music in that game.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd be interested in trying it again. There's no reason I couldn't just play it on the GameCube though. So it's like, who am I kidding? Why do I need to buy
Well,
this game?
okay. Well, here's the thing, though.
Online
It's not
co-op.
exactly. It's not fun. From what I understand, that game is really not fun to play by yourself.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty boring.
true. And yeah, I
So
never had the Game Boy
the
Advance.
Game
Yeah.
Boy Advance adapters, yeah, I did, but I got that game I only got that game picked up that game like a year ago, so I haven't really had anyone to play with really. So, that to me, I'm picking it up. I hope you pick it up too, because I'd love to play. I love to play that with you and a couple other people. I think it would be a lot of fun. That's a game that I remember when I was a little kid thinking that it was really cool, because I loved the character designs, and I
Yeah.
loved the I love the fact that it was like a Final Fantasy game on a Nintendo console again, type of thing. Like
Yeah.
that to me was just that seemed cool to me. So, um,
I bet most of you, hardcore Final Fantasy fans have not played Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, My Life as a King, the classic WiiWare game.
I bet a lot of them have.
Really, it was
It's a
not.
very popular WiiWare game.
I mean, it's a popular WiiWare game. Okay, is
Yeah.
it? I don't know. I've never heard anyone but me talk about it. So
Period.
yeah.
You need to get out more.
No,
I've heard people talk about it.
no, that's just your inner circle.
Okay.
More people need to play
Maybe.
that game though.
More people should play
But
that
now
game.
you can't really get it by regular means because now there's no more eShop, right?
Maybe they'll bring it back someday.
I hope so, but I feel like
I mean,
just
Well, we'll get into a couple things that they're bringing back just completely out of nowhere. So
mm-hmm.
we'll get into that in a little bit.
Next up, we had Octopath Traveler now on Steam.
Yep.
And I'm like, dang, that was a nice Switch exclusive for a little bit. But,
For about a year. About a year it was out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you might as well branch it out to other people. By the way, it's kind of expensive on Steam. It's $60.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So you might as well get it on Switch. Still get it on Switch because it's a great game.
I mean, I have it on Switch, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like having the exclusives on Switch. That's always nice. Next, we had The Last Remnant Remastered, available tonight, which was it was
A Shadow
yesterday.
Drop.
Yeah.
So that was. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that was the first Shadow Drop of E3. There hadn't been any Shadow Drops. Like that was kind of a huge thing in years past.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
Yeah, I like that.
And Shadow Drops are so hyped for me. I think that's so cool when a developer can like hide the fact that they're going to be releasing something, show you a trailer for it, and then be like, "That's available right now. You can get it right now. Go for it." Like I love that. I love it when they do that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
The Last Remnant doesn't really have any particular meaning to me, but
I know a lot of people said the game was very good, but it suffered from a terrible frame rate. That was kind of the big problem. Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we had a little bit of Dragon Quest Builders 2, Dragon Quest 11 Definitive Edition S.
Both cool things. I'm not gonna pick up Dragon Quest Builders 2, but that trailer was very fun.
Yeah, I like
it was a
that
very
announcer.
funny trailer. It was very fun. My parents were in the room. My mom thought it was funny too. So yeah.
Dragon Quest 11 I still haven't played. So
yeah.
There's that. But there's a lot of Dragon Quest games I still have to play. So who am I kidding, right?
I'm excited to pick this game up. I kind of was looking forward to Dragon Quest 11, and then I kind of, like the soundtrack wasn't really that great, and I couldn't get the limited edition before it sold out, so I was like, I'll just hold off on that. And then they announced this, and I'm like, well, I know what version of that game I'm buying.
Yeah, the definitive S edition, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they talked about some indie games, including, of course, Battalion 1944. My game of the show right there. I actually think that looks cool, but it also is just like, I'm pretty easy when it comes to like Call of Duty style first person. Yeah. I'll enjoy it, but I won't buy it.
Yeah.
So that's the problem there. So then they talked about Square Enix music. I like that commercial.
Wasn't that a fun commercial? Yeah, that was cool too.
It's available on streaming services now.
Speaking about shadow dropping, they did that. They didn't have any press about that when they
Yeah.
released all those soundtracks live. Or it just happened like a couple weeks ago. They're just like, boom! All these game soundtracks are now on your all your streaming music services.
Okay.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. So that's cool. And then they had this
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC.
Yep.
I mean, I'm out of it, so I'm like, what is this trailer?
Yep.
Why? Why is
It will mean literally nothing to anyone except for those who have played the game.
Yeah, it's like.
So.
I'm like, why is it silent?
Yeah.
There's just words and. Okay.
They probably haven't recorded any of the lines for it yet. That'd be my guess.
Really? So that's.
They just. Yeah.
There's no reason it's silent?
Voice acting is not always, but some of the last stuff that's done
Yeah,
in a
but
game.
that was a weird trailer to me. It's just silent and awkward. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's not for me, I guess.
They had some of the earlier Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers were like that too. Like weirdly silent like that.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Final Fantasy 14 Online, Shadowbringers.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know anything about the game, to be honest.
Me neither. All I know is that it is very popular.
Yeah, I had no idea, and the crowd was so hyped about it too.
They are. It makes me excited. I have Final Fantasy 14 on my computer. I don't have a subscription, so I haven't gotten around to playing it yet. I play Destiny 2, so like I kind of don't have room for another game to invest a lot of time into right now, because that just got a huge new update. But the game is very impressive looking, and the people who are into it are so into it, and it's increasing all the time. It's beautiful to me how well they turned that game around, because that game was was dead at launch. It just was a terrible mess of a game. So then they just destroyed it and built it from the ground up again, and they made something really successful, and I think that's just amazing.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's just been super popular ever since, and yeah, people who are into it are so into it. Yeah, the crowd was super amped for that.
But that's one of those things. If you're not into it, then you're not into it. It's like,
yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm interested, but like I just don't have the time to invest into it. So.
And then they had Dying Light 2 after that,
which is cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad that game's seeing the light. What's the next game?
Then we had Romancing Saga 3 and some other stuff. Saga Scarlet. Something Ambitions. This actually looked hype to me. I have no idea anything about this game, but...
So Saga is... I think they released it... The original Saga games were released on the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, as like... I think it was called Final Fantasy Legend 1 and 2. Those were actually Saga games. Saga then continued on to Super Nintendo, PlayStation 2, and they kind of stopped making them, or they at least stopped bringing them over to North America. This to me seems like a test. Are people still interested in Saga? Because we'll still keep making these games if people are. So this came out of literally nowhere. Like I don't think anyone I know was like, we need some of these Saga games.
Yeah.
Because some of the last Saga games that were released here were just bad. There's one that's like notorious because the world map is literally like a menu that you select, and like you don't even really explore dungeons. It's super weird, like how navigation in that game works. It's all done on like menus and stuff.
Yeah.
It feels incredibly. It was like super. Like it felt like they didn't spend any money on the game. Like it felt really strange. I don't remember which Saga it was. I'll have to look that up later. But
this is the one. Yeah. This is the one where the trailer had said that like your decisions matter and stuff. Is it that one?
I think so. I think
that was interesting to me. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, those I don't remember which Saga it was that did that, but I think that was one of the PS2 ones that didn't come out here. But so they're remastering it essentially.
Wasn't there? It's like a trilogy. It said, or
No, that's Mana. That's the Mana.
Well, I know that, yeah.
Yeah.
But how many games were there? 2?
In that collection, there's 2.
Okay. Well, it looked pretty hyped to me, having known nothing about it before. So.
Yeah, I mean, it got me excited for it, and I've never played a Saga game, so.
Then of course, they have the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, the mobile game, which got over 40 million downloads or something. Apparently.
Yeah, it's a fairly popular game. I've never played it, really. Never put any time into it. I'm not a big mobile game player, so.
Yeah, I never. Whenever I see a mobile game at E3, I'm like, no.
Yeah. Honestly, this actually looked cool. I mean, I was impressed. It wasn't like I thought. I don't know. I guess I was just a little surprised because I didn't know it was going to look like that.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like a console game almost. Yeah. So I was kind of impressed by that. But not really anything I'm super interested in. But for that mobile game crowd, they'll go for it. They'll eat it up. And there was like a couple people in the audience that were excited about it. The audience wasn't really going crazy about that one, but there was a couple people that were excited about it.
I cannot imagine being those people, though. I'm like, they're in a whole other world. Also, then they had a game called Outriders for 1 to 3 players. 1 to 3 players. That's the golden number. Which is like
3.
Seemed okay. I mean, nothing didn't seem super crazy good to me, but nothing remarkable.
Yeah, it was just a CG trailer. Because that game's still a ways out, I think.
Yeah, but the developer seemed pretty hyped about it, though.
Yeah, he was definitely really interested, really excited about it to announce it. But I don't even really remember exactly what he said, what kind of game it was. So it was kind of like, okay, well, that's cool though, It's cool that they're developing. It's because here's the thing, it's a new thing. I like things that are new sometimes. It's nice to have your franchise stuff, your Final Fantasies and whatnot, but it's also fun to see something new or a new IP, a new idea. And it's a shooter of some sort. I don't know exactly anything else about it, but that's about it.
There's a game called Oninaki, I believe it was called Oninaki.
I think this game has been mentioned before. It's being made by the same people that are behind some of the smaller turn-based Square Enix games they've been making. There was like I Am Setsuna, and there was like the other one that came out after. It just came out like last year, and I think this is their next game. So it's like a smaller division in Square Enix, and they're making like kind of throwback style games essentially. So this looked good. It looked very edgy,
Mm-hmm.
Where it's talking about like reincarnation. We're like the society. It's like we're the people that need to claim. We need to kill the people or whatever. We need to prepare people for their death, and we're the ones that deliver that death to them. It looked very edgy, and I was like, this is awesome. This is the right kind of edge. It's just like it was. I was very amused by it. So that's coming out later this year, just in August actually.
Yeah.
So just a couple months ago.
Day after my birth, August 22nd. Cool. All right, and then they brought up Final Fantasy VIII Remastered,
which was super hype. This game has been completely neglected.
Yeah, what happened?
They've remastered like every other Final Fantasy game except for this one, pretty much.
They skipped it, but then I'm like, we'll just throw it in there now.
Well, because here's the thing, they lost the code to that game.
Oh.
That's why it was.
Did they find it?
I think they probably or something. They probably back. A lot of times, what happens in cases like that is they sort of get a copy of the game and they sort of like I don't want to say like backdoor it, but they almost like reverse engineer it, I guess you could say.
They take apart the disc until they find the coding inside it.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's got to be somewhere in this data stream. So it's probably just took them a little longer than some of the other two. But
and I mean, I'd be up for playing it after I'm done Final Fantasy VII. I don't know when I'll have the time to, but I'd be up for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting to me. I mean, I've never played that game. It's one of the more controversial entries of the series. So, but it's one that I'm definitely interested in. So
sure.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they ended the show with Avengers. Sure.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Which, I mean, it seemed cool. They had some great voice actors involved there.
Very much so.
Troy Baker, Nolan North, Laura Bailey. Who else? Travis.
Travis Willingham. Her husband.
Yeah. And what was the last guy?
I don't remember his name.
Captain
He's the guy
America.
playing Cap. He's the guy playing Cap, yeah. I don't remember his name. The voice is relatively recognizable. But here's the cool thing. Those people are all friends.
Okay, yeah.
They're all... Troy Baker and Nolan North have a YouTube channel themselves, which is very fun, by the way. It's cool. They have it's a Let's Play channel that they do.
Nice.
So they have that. Troy Baker and his wife Pam are very close friends with Laura and Travis. Mm-hmm. Pam and Laura both had their babies at right around the same time, and they live pretty close to each other, so they go and do stuff together all the time. If you follow them on Instagram, you'll see tons of really cute baby stuff with both of them. It's fun.
Yeah, so good voices. I mean, it's like
good voices.
It's ambitious. It's like a more ambitious licensed game than you usually see, where it's like it's not just like shilling out some random generic cutscenes. At least they're putting effort into it.
A lot. That. This feels like they're trying to do this sort of thing that Insomniac did with Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah.
It definitely feels like that, and that's a good thing to me. That's everything that I really want out of a superhero game.
Yeah, it's just a little more love put into it than.
Yeah, than just kind of throwing it out there, you know, the extra bit of love and care that's put into it. And yeah, and they showed a couple scenes that they're trying to focus on that emotional aspect of like being able to relate to the characters and stuff, which is like what the Marvel movies do a good job at anyways. And this isn't the movies. They even stated like this is our take on the game. Mm-hmm. It's Crystal Dynamics' take on the classic characters. But they are still obviously trying to, you know, put an emotional aspect into it to instead of just being like making a game where you're a superhero and you just go around and you kill stuff, fight things, and save the day. Yeah. So it looks good. I'm very, very excited for it. It was a nice way to end the show. This game's been... They talked about this game for a long time, and we've just seen nothing about it.
Right.
So it was nice to see a little fruition.
Up to 4 players online, too.
Yeah.
So is it only these main characters that are playable, or you can play as all the...
There will be. They announced this, and this is awesome. There will be more. There will be more playable characters, and they are all going to be free.
Oh yeah, they did mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's going to be more, and they'll all be free updates.
Okay, so they're just adding them as it goes on. Okay.
As the game goes on, and they said they'll add some story elements too, and those will all also be free.
Okay. Yeah.
That to me is an incredible amount of confidence in this product.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome. Like, bring it on. I'm so excited. I love the Avengers. I love the Marvel stuff. So, I mean, our first YouTube channel was about Endgame. So, bring it on.
Our first YouTube channel, yeah.
Our first YouTube channel.
We don't talk about that channel.
We just, it was just completely all 100% about Avengers Endgame.
Content. Yeah.
No, just Avengers Endgame. Just that was all. We're like one of those like news farming channels. That just...
But yeah, that's how they ended it. And I mean, overall, I thought it was a really good conference, and I'd like to commend them not only on the content but also the presentation. Like I said, I love the venue.
Yes.
I love being able to hear the crowd reactions, and I love the pacing of it. How they just kept rolling, more good stuff. And something with Square Enix as opposed to something like Microsoft is I'm just generally a lot more interested in these kinds of games more so than the kind of games that Microsoft has, you know. I'm just more inclined to enjoy them in general, so.
Yeah, agreed.
So, what would you give this grade?
This is gonna be a solid A.
Solid A.
I think they nailed everything that I wanted them to, and more. They did more than I was expecting. I did not see Saga. I did not see Final Fantasy VIII. I didn't see what was some of the other things that the other surprises that it was kind of for me. I guess that's pretty much it in terms of the surprises. But like everything that they showed, it was a little more than I was expecting. I was expecting them to hold back a little more on Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, yeah, they really
Especially
went
them to
in
hold
there.
back a little more on Avengers, but they went in a deep dive in both of those things, and I was so in on both of those. I'm what a great the fact that they were able to bookend, but also have really interesting stuff in the middle. Just what a great
Yeah,
overall conference. It saved E3 in my opinion.
yeah,
It really did. It was pretty disappointing, and in my mind they had to, because this was the one that was the most crucial to me. Because last year, Square Enix's conference was terrible. It was awful.
yeah. I was gonna
It,
mention that. I was like last
um,
year. After seeing it last year, I was like, okay, this one's gonna be like 30 minutes because the last one was just like a montage of trailers.
yeah, it was just terrible,
30
and
minutes, yeah.
it was funny because they had 3 or 4 Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers last year, and they played like the worst one at that one.
Yeah, it was.
All the other good ones were played during Sony and Microsoft, so it was kind of funny.
Yeah, but then they went from that to full on presentation with this. Great.
Mm.
I would
Hmm.
also give it an A. That's what I was going to give it to. So, nice and easy. Tarqaron, grade A.
Solid A.
Never would have expected to give Square Enix an A. I mean,
Either I love them, but
yeah,
yeah,
you don't expect. I don't expect that much. That's why surprises are nice.
yeah.
Okay, that's it. Thank you for
All right.
watching. Okay,
Okay.
thanks.